And the candle went out. Oh, the candle went out in full.
The candle went out. I have the same question actually. I don't know the answer. I have the same question. I don't know. I'm not sure. I have the same question. Okay, ready? So last week we talked about, just to recap last week. Last week we had the question, can you light miner lener? Can I light from one candle to another candle? Is it a bizayon? Is it not nice to the first candle for me to light and take a fire from the first candle and give it to the second candle? Or is it okay? And we said halakha l'ma'aseh, we said it was machloket Rav and Shmuel. Shmuel held this mutad to light from candle to candle. And Maran Shulchan Aruch, huh? Well, Moshe Rabbeinu. Yeah. No, it's not. So the good. So then you would agree with the Gemara's other side that it's not bizayon, it's machishe mitzvah. It just doesn't look right. Okay, that's the second part of the Gemara. Gemara machloket. Is it a bizui? Is it or is it a machish? That's why you hold like Shmuel.
Maybe it's not inside.
It's inside. So you hold like Shmuel also. We all like Shmuel. So the halakha l'maaseh is like Shmuel. It's mutar to light miner lener. Rambam says straight out, right? Remember this? Rambam says straight out, mutar lehalik miner lener. It's allowed. And the Ra'avad on the Rambam says, even with a middle match, I want to take a match to the middle, to one kosher candle, and want to light the match and light the next candle. The Ra'avad says it's allowed. Ra'avad is Ashkenaz. A match. I have one candle here, is lit. I want to take fire from it and put it on another candle. Ra'avad, the Ravid, Ashkenaz, yes. No, the Ravid is Ashkenaz all the way. Maran Shulchan Aruch says, you're allowed to light miner lener, but no middle match. Only straight miner lener. Okay? So the Gemara, that's where we left off last time. So the Gemara, I highlighted where we are. We're on the yellow highlight. The Gemara says, Mai have'ala. What's the bottom line? What's the answer to this question? Mai have'ala. What's the maskana? I highlighted in yellow. So the Gemara says, now we're about to introduce, I hope maybe you've heard this before. It's a very famous mahloket. There are a few sugyot when it comes to Hanukkah that are world famous, but maybe you've never heard of it. So you should know this. If you're a good Jew, you should know this mahloket. We're about to introduce a very famous mahloket. Gemara says, "Mai havehala." What's the halacha? We know Shmuel holds you're allowed to light miner lener. Amar Abhuna Bered Rabbi Yoshua Hazina. We see I hadlaka ose mitzvah malikin miner lener. Ve'i hanaha ose mitzvah em malikin miner lener. This is what the Gemara says. That's a great question. So the Gemara says it depends. Yes, we know Shmuel holds that it's okay to take from one candle to another candle, but it depends. Hadlaka oseh mitzvah. I think the proper pronunciation is osa mitzvah, but I just say oseh. Hadlaka osa mitzvah. Is that I think that's proper, right? Or hanaha osa mitzvah, which means is it the lighting that's the mitzvah, or is it the placing of the menorah that's the mitzvah? Which component of lighting menorah is the mitzvah? To make sure I lit a kosher lighting, or to make sure I put it down in a proper kosher place? So we're going to see right now. Check out the Gemara. Because they asked in the yeshiva, halakha osa mitzvah or hanaha osa mitzvah? Which one is it? Now Rashi, look at Rashi, David. Very good. Did you ever learn this Gemara before? Mamash is what the Gemara says. If you just wait a few minutes. So look at Rashi. It's the first wide line on the bottom of Rashi's. It's like 5 lines from the bottom. I hadlaka osa mitzvah. I ha-mitzvah shel chanuka tilya behadlaka. If the main mitzvah of Hanukkah is the hadlaka, the lighting, madikin, then you can do it miner lener. Hey, doctor. Kedeashkehan the menorah. V'anaha osa mitzvah. If it's the placing, I'm going to explain this in English in 1 second. If the placing is the mitzvah, v'ikad mitzvata talya behanaha, the main mitzvah is the placement of the menorah, then you will not be allowed to light miner lener. Rashi said. So again, Are you allowed to light from one candle to another candle? I have a menorah and I'm lighting. Tonight's the third night. I lit the first night, beautiful, first candle. Second candle, my match went out. Now, I want to just take a new match and light it from the candle, from the second or the first candle, and keep going. Is this allowed or not allowed? It depends. Shmuel holds you're allowed to light miner lener, only, we're going to hold straight, but only if it's a mitzvah. I can't light my cigarette from the menorah. That's asur. It's bizayon. It's not nice. Only for the mitzvah of Hanukkah, for another ner mitzvah, I'm allowed to light miner lener. Then the first holy candle is okay. Here, you take from me because it's for another one, right?
So you can't light the second candle.
The second candle
The first candle is
great question. Let's assume right now the mehadrin mina mehadrin, they're all, if you want to do level 3, they're all ner mitzvah. It's a great question. In the third level, they're all ner mitzvah. But let's see. Just put it on the side for a few minutes. Maybe we'll get to it. Shamash, like we said, I think 2 weeks ago or last week, the shamash. Am I allowed to light the shamash from one of the holy candles? No. The shamash is not a ner mitzvah. The shamash is either a heker or leishtamish leorah, to use its light. The shamash is a hol. It's not kodesh. And so you can't take kodesh and light hol. So the Gemara says, okay, I got you, but I have a question. What is the mitzvah of menorah? How do you even know the mitzvah of menorah is to light a candle? Is the mitzvah, like you had a good point, lehalik, very good. How do you know that it's to light the candle? Maybe the mitzvah of menorah is just to put a candle in the window, however way you get it. Not that it's lighting. What do you mean where I get it from?
what's the havamina?
The havamina hana house in mitzvah. It's a question. Now we know the answer. You know the answer, but we have to sit with the question. Maybe I'll tell you the havamina. David, the havamina is, what is the purpose of lighting menorah candles? What is the purpose? I don't care what you do, as long as you publicize to the street that it's Hanukkah tonight. The whole purpose is to publicize. Why do you care if I lit it? If a fire came down from Shamayim and it landed on my candle? If a monkey lit my menorah? If I have a monkey, I train him to light a menorah, and I put it in the window, is it kosher or not? What is the purpose of menorah? Pisu menisa. To show everyone that it's Hanukkah. Am I doing that? Yes. Now you see the other side. Now you want to switch to the other side?
So we could put a dreidel in the window.
Very good. This is the way the rabbis told us to publicize Hanukkah. You don't see the word dreidel on the menorah in the gemara. Dreidel is a new invention. This is the way. Sufganiyot came, they've been around for a while. Rambam's father talked about Sufganiyot. But this, you don't see this in the Gemara. Only in the Gemara, Hanukkah had one thing. Halel we do, obviously. But we publicize the miracle by lighting a candle. So now David has officially switched to the other side. A minute ago he held it was halakha osam mitzvah, and now he holds it's hanaha osam mitzvah. Yeah, David? Okay, so you're back to the other side. So the question is as follows, David. Now, are you allowed to light from candle to candle? Now answer the question. Is it the lighting that's the mitzvah? No. Maybe it's just the placing of the menorah as mitzvah. If hanaha osam mitzvah, let's use the real Hebrew words. If hanaha osam mitzvah, it's only the placement, then I'm sorry, you're not using this kosher holy candle for a kosher purpose. It's hol. Understand? Now that you understand, you explain it to the new people.
Now we understand.
Go ahead. Let's go. Let's explain it. Who wants to do it? Doctor? Come on. Okay, so last week, ready, Yossi? You holding here? Livan, yeah? Last week you're holding. Last week we finished off by saying, we talked about miner lener, yeah? Sadiq. Katamari frah. Miner lener, we talked about last week. Can you take one candle and light it for another candle? So now the Gemara is saying, well, it depends. If it's a mitzvah, we know for sure you could do it because we hold like Shmuel, that it's not bizayon, it's allowed to take from one mitzvah, just like the other two examples. What was the other example from Shmuel? You're allowed to take off seat strings from a talit and put it on a new talit. Shmuel holds. Why? I'm taking away from something holy in order to make another thing holy. Right? Try it. This is what we said last week. Shmuel holds it's okay to slap one mitzvah in the face as long as you get a new mitzvah. But the question is lighting menorah candles a mitzvah? Maybe just placing it in the window is a mitzvah. So we just ask, what is the purpose of lighting candles, Yossi? The purpose we light candles. For what? So as long as the people in the street or in the house know that tonight is Hanukkah because you have a candle in your window, you should be kosher. So if I have a monkey that's trained to light menorah candles, and he lit the candle and he put it in the window, does everybody know it's Hanukkah? Is it Pirsum Mitzvah? That's Pirsum Meni. So yeah. So is it kosher or not? Is the mitzvah of lighting candles to light the candles or to have the candles? Yeah, you can have both. Because there's a nafkamina. Very good. So that's a good question. David asked the same question. We say the word lehalik. Very good. But the question is, so what was the nafkamina? What's the halakha difference? Last week's question. You're allowed to take from one ned to light to another ned, but who said it's a mitzvah what you're doing now? Maybe it's just the placing that's a mitzvah, not the lighting. And so let's go further in the Gemara.
What's the mitzvah of the night?
What is the mitzvah? Exactly.
If the mitzvah is to just light one candle every night,
yeah, then the extra candles,
then you can't do it because
you don't have a problem.
Okay, so that's what my father-in-law asked. He said the hidud candles, they shouldn't be considered the same level as the first one. So then I'm going to answer your question two ways. Number one, let's assume, if you will, that when you decide to do mehadrin, mina mehadrin, all the candles are mitzvah. But if you don't like that, we have another answer. Candle 2 burned out. And I want to light candle 3 from candle 2. They're both on the same level.
So one more question. So what if it's Friday night and you're lighting your Shabbat candles?
Great. So if you were here last week, the last halakha we said last week was Manash Panaruf, that you should not do that. Because even though it's a mitzvah to a mitzvah, it's not the same mitzvah. And so it's still slapping Hanukkah in the face.
It's still Kodesh to Kodesh.
Yes, but Manash Panaruf says you shouldn't because you can't slap Hanukkah in the face to get Shabbat. But you can slap Hanukkah to get more Hanukkah. It's a concept he holds. It's a deep concept in terms of mitzvah, bizui mitzvah. It's not a bizayon for the mitzvah of Hanukkah because I'm adding more Hanukkah as a result. But when you start crossing boundaries in the mitzvah, some people hold you could. Some people hold you could light Shabbat candles. Shabbat candles from my Hanukkah candles. Some people say you could, but Manash Haru says you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Okay, so now the question is hadlaka. These are the words. We use these words a lot now, so I want you to know the Hebrew. Hadlaka osam mitzvah or hanaha osam mitzvah? Is the lighting the mitzvah or is the placement the mitzvah? And we're going to have 5, 6, 7, maybe more halachic differences depending on what you hold. That's a great question. That's an excellent question. The Gemara asked that question. No, that's a question. Okay, ready? Let's see. We are, so if you look at the highlighted where I highlighted my have'ala, I'm going to read it from there again. Ready? My have'ala, what's the bottom line? No, I read that wrong. Hazina, we see. If the lighting is the mitzvah, then you can light. Joey, stop. If the mitzvah is the placement and not the lighting, then you can't light from candle to candle because you're not doing a holy mitzvah by lighting Hanukkah candles. Because we asked, we asked this question, what's the halakha? Tashema. Let us see. We have a question. The Amana Baraba said, if you're holding the Hanukkah candles in your window, I want to light like the Statue of Liberty. I want to hold the menorah the entire time. Is it a kosher lighting or not? This is the question of the Gemara. Lo asa velo klum. You're not yotzeh. If I light the menorah candles and I hold it in the window like this,
you're the first one, yeah.
You're not yotzeh the mitzvah, says the Gemara. Shema Mina, we learn from here, Hanaha osam mitzvah. It's not enough that you lit it. You got to put it down. And so we learn from here the placing in the window. No. Hanaha, halakha is 0. Lo asav velo klum. You did nothing. You did nothing. I don't care. Again, if you have a monkey that's trained to light your candles, it would seem that that's okay as long as it goes in the window. If you hold hanaha osam mitzvah. What do you mean? I lit menorah candles. Yeah, but you didn't put it down, Rory.
You have an iPad.
Or automatic lighter. Is that kosher? It's a great question. Is that kosher?
It's more relevant.
Okay, so forget the monkey. I like the monkey, but okay, fine. Automatic Android. Could we do Android? Automatic Android lighter. Is it kosher? So the gemara says straight out, if you're holding the menorah candle in the window, you're not kosher. You didn't fulfill the mitzvah. You got to do it again. Shema mina, hana ha'osam mitzvah. It's the placing that works. No, the gemara says, no, don't bring me this as a proof. Don't bring this as a proof. It's different. Holding the menorah in the window is different. Why? Because really, maybe you would be yotzeh by holding the menorah in the window because you did a good halakha. But people think you're just holding it for your own light. So really, it would be kosher, but we're saying it's not kosher because out there in the street, people looking and saying, "Oh,
but you said
this guy's holding a lantern."
It's not
It's not for Shemenisa because you lose that, even though it would be. But because it's you holding it, people say, he's just holding it for himself.
You're talking about holding the candle or holding the
Either one. Either one.
No, the menorah may be different. Holding the candle is completely different.
Either one. Mamash, either one. I'm holding the candle or I'm holding the chanuka. You don't have to have a chanuka. You don't have to have a menorah. You can I can light a candle and put it right down on the windowsill. That's kosher. I want to hold the candle. So Gemara says, don't prove to me from there that hanaha osam mitzvah. That's a placing it as a mitzvah. Maybe the placement is not the mitzvah. Maybe the lighting is the mitzvah. And what you did should be kosher. People are going to think you did it for yourself. You're trying to see something. I don't know. Why you it's like holding a flashlight. You're trying to see something. And so we made a decree and said, no, you got to do it again. How with that a bit of Okay, let's try another one. Tashema, here's another question. If I lit the candles inside my house, now this go back to the days of the Gemara when the menorah went on the outside of the house. Okay, these days it wouldn't be a question, but in the old times or in Israel where they light outside, if I lit the menorah in my dining room, and after I lit it, I walk outside and I put it down. Kosher or not kosher? Kosher or not kosher?
No, but it seems like it would be kosher.
It's
people.
So if
holding it.
Well, I'm not holding it anymore. I put it down, right? So if hadlaka osam mitzvah, did I light it as a proper lighting? Not in the olden days, you would lit it inside. So if hadlaka osam mitzvah, if the lighting was the mitzvah, you did nothing. But if the placement was the mitzvah, at the end of the day, it's placed in a kosher place. How do you care how it got lit? Like Yossi's thing, maybe you have an automatic light. And so that'll be the same question. And what is the answer? Lo asa klum. It's 0. You cannot, in the olden days, you can't light inside and then say, I want to bring it out and put it down because it would seem hanaha osam mitzvah. There has to be a kosher. It has to be a kosher. No, sorry. Lo asa klum. It has to be a kosher lighting. So it would seem from there, hadlaka osam mitzvah. You didn't do a proper hadlaka. You did a good hanaha. Yeah?
So you have to move the chanuka after it's lit?
Good question. I'm going to deal with that halakha when we do the halakha l'maaseh part. If you want to say, that's what those letters stand for. If you want to say it's good, halakha osam mitzvah, that the reason we light is for the lighting. Halakha hidlika b'mkomo be'inan. You got to light in the proper place, and therefore, if you move it outside, not kosher, because halakha osam mitzvah, the main part of the mitzvah is the lighting. Right? Mishum hachi lo asa klum. And since you didn't light it in a proper place as a kosher place, it's nothing. If you want to say that the placing of the menorah is the mitzvah, why is it not kosher? I placed it in a kosher place. How do you care how I lit it and where I lit it? And that says, don't prove it to me there. No. Hatam nami, over there, I have another reason why I would decree that it's not kosher, although it should be kosher. The same reason. Someone's going to say, this guy's walking around with his lantern. He wants to see. Why is he moving around? It's like a flashlight. It's even more of a reason. Who walks around with a light unless you need the light? And so therefore it would be kosher. Don't prove to me from here, halakha osam mitzvah. Really, maybe hanaha osam mitzvah still. Not approved. Good? Good?
So the action that he's moving against the power.
It shows everyone that there's no more pursuing like David said, you lost it. People are going to say, oh, he's just walking around with his lantern. Okay, you put it down outside. If you walk around with the light, yeah, but the fact that people saw you move outside you came outside with your candles, people are gonna say, oh, he didn't light that for Hanukkah. Why would he walk out with his Hanukkah candles?
Yeah, but once you set it down, then it's
Right, but the problem is the people seen you set it down. The people saw you walk outside the house with it. And so they're going to assume, oh, that was a candle from inside, and now he just happened to put it down. No one's going to say these are Hanukkah candles because you didn't actually start it in the right place, in a kosher place. They saw you coming from a not kosher place, right? Let's do another question. Tashima, last line on the bottom, and then I have new pages because I printed them. So we're about to turn the page. So here's the new pages. Tashima, here's another question. The Amar of Yeshua ben Levi. Yeshua ben Levi says, Ashashit. What's an Ashashit?
Lantern.
A lantern. Ashashit is a lantern. Picture like a camping lantern. Ashashit. Look at Ashit, the top Ashit on the next page I just passed out. Keli gadol shel zichruchit. Someone want to read this? Someone read this. Doctor, you want to read this? No. It's English. Read the Rashi, the top Rashi. On the page I just, there. Read the top Rashi. Read the top line. Ashashit. Ashashit. You see it? Keli gadol, a big vessel, shel zichruchit of glass, bilaz in French. Go ahead, go for it. Read it. Lantern.
Lantern.
See that shit? I told you it's English. Lanterna. Rashi is French. Yeah. No, Rashi is French. Lantera. It's a lantern. I told you it's English. So therefore, what's the question of the gemara? So the gemara's question is, Ashashit she'ayta doleket veholeket kol hayom kulo. I have a lantern. It's a long-lasting candle. It's just going and going all day long. Lemotza'eh Shabbat, that's what that stands for. Lemotza'eh Shabbat, after Shabbat, I want it to be my Hanukkah candles. I have a Yortzeit candle going. I put this in the chat a couple weeks ago, right? I have a Yortzeit, 3-day Yortzeit candle going. And I want to just turn it into my Hanukkah candle. I'm like, you know what? Let this just be my candle. Can I do that? It's already lit, but who cares? It's an window. Can I do that? So Ashashit is the question. Ashashit, the lantern, shedoleket veholeket kol hayom kulo. It's just burning and burning and burning through Shabbat. Lemotzei Shabbat, at the end of Shabbat, mechaba, you have to extinguish it, umadlika, and relight it for Hanukkah. You can't just designate it to be your light of the night. And so we see from there, what do you mean? It's the lighting is it placed in a kosher place? Yes. No good though. Right? It's not good. You have to relight it, which means you need a proper lighting every night. So I can't have the monkey light. You can't have Yossi's automatic lighter machine apparatus, right? You have to have a lighting. If you want to say it's good, mitzvah, the main mitzvah is the lighting. Shapir, perfect. It's good. If you want to say the placing is the mitzvah, why do I have to extinguish it and light it? This is the Gemara. We're on like the 6th line. This you have to extinguish it and light it. You should have to do all that. Why does it say I have to extinguish it and light it? I should have to extinguish it, and then magbiha pick it up, and then maniha put it back down, and then madika and then light it. But it doesn't say I have to do all those steps. And so therefore, we don't care, it seems, about the placement or how it got where it is. As long as it's in a kosher place, all you gotta do is light. It's good proof, no? Now, I have a question. This is my own question I had a couple years ago when I was learning this gemara. Why do we have to say that the case is Motzei Shabbat? And I'm open to you guys. I have my own answer that I made up out of the thin air, so it's not a rabbi. So if you have a better answer.
The light candle you're talking about?
No, it's not. It's a lantern. It's an ashashit lantern, Rashi said. That's burning all day. Why does it come out and say Motzei Shabbat? Why can't it be on a Tuesday? I had a lantern going all Tuesday, and I want that to be my light. Why does it say Motzei Shabbat? Like it has to be Saturday? Why?
Maybe you want to take that. It's old.
Because you would not light it on Motzei Shabbat, right? Or
Why? Why does it? Anybody have an answer? I have my own answer, but does anybody else have their own answer? Any idea?
If it's during the daytime, you could. If it's during the weekdays, before it's nighttime, you turn it off and you turn it back on.
Right, but on Shabbat you can't do
You
that.
can't. So that's perhaps it's trying to give you a better, solid situation to say this. There's no way that you can turn this off and on.
Good. My answer is almost exactly like that. I want to give you my answer and see if you agree with it, and it has a little more power, I think. Huh? Let's see Rashi. Let's read Rashi. Go ahead. Kavod. Shabbat.
Yeah.
I lit it on Friday. Why? My question is on Rashi.
Because you can't use the light of the chanuka.
But why? Why does this have to be the case? That's my question. Why can't it be Tuesday?
Oh.
The same halakha would apply Tuesday. If I have a lantern going all Tuesday.
Because on Shabbat you have more temptation maybe to use the light. Because you need to use the light.
You're allowed to use the light of a lantern on Shabbat.
No, not the chanuka.
The Hanukkah you could also rehold.
Yeah?
because
Mutar l'ishtamesh Torah.
because it's on Motzei Shabbat, you dafka
Oh,
would
sorry, asur l'ishtamesh Torah. What am I talking about?
you would after Shabbat there's no light,
Yeah,
so you would it's been dark, and then Motzei Shabbat you have to light something
yeah.
because and it's dafka it's not going to be before, it's going to be Motzei Shabbat. Otherwise it's going to be in the daytime. It's the one night that is at nighttime that you have to light at the same time that you would light.
What's the chidush of telling me Shabbat? Why can't you tell
Because
me?
you're not going to have a distinguished time on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday to dafka light candle. It's going to be on.
Yeah, but
Not a
there's a,
distinct.
but there's a
Motzei
man.
Shabbat, you're dafka going to be lighting a lantern because
No, but you lit the lantern Friday night. The Gemara says
it stayed up all night.
it stayed up the whole Shabbat. It stayed the whole Shabbat.
Open up a new week.
I don't know. What is? I don't
Maybe
know.
that's what to do with Haftarah.
I'll give you my answer. It's a lot like Dr. Sofer's answer. I think you'll like it, Dr. Sofer, because its superpower is yours. You can agree or disagree. I didn't read this anywhere. I searched and searched. My answer is as follows. What is the Gemara saying? That if you have an ashashit, a lantern burning all night long, and now the next night you want to use it, you can't use it. You have to extinguish it and relight it. Okay, what if I want to use it? Not kosher. Yeah? If I tell you Motzei Shabbat even is not kosher, that's telling you even b'diavad it's not kosher. Because Shabbat doesn't even end until the Zman of Hanukkah started already. The Zman of lighting candles starts by Shekiyat HaHamva and Shekiyah until 30 minutes later. By the time we light Havdalah or break Shabbat, the Zman of the Shuk is in there already. And so maybe you were Yotzeh b'diavad. To say you have to extinguish it and you get to make another beracha, it shows you how bad that it's not kosher. On a Tuesday night, I would say, I want to extinguish it in the daytime, like you said. And then I want to relight it. You can't use it. But on Shabbat, I'm going to say, but Rabbi, what if it is kosher? It was been lighting for the past hour. Hasn't it been the Zman of Menorah? It's been the Zman. I've been having a good hanaha in a window during the Zman. You tell me it's not kosher? B'diavad? Even so, it's been not kosher. That was my answer. Similar to yours. Even b'diavad is not kosher. Good. Nobody said. I didn't see this written anywhere, but I think it's a very powerful chidush.
Yes.
Even Saturday night, don't come to me and say, "But Rabbi, it's been burning in the window for an hour." Because Havdalah, we can't do anything about it. I don't care. Extinguish it, make a new beracha, and light again. Why? Because hadlaka osa mitzvah. It's very strong. Like it?
Even more powerful than the timing of it.
Yeah. Maskim. Everyone likes it.
We like it.
All right. Let's put it in the book. Entry number 1. You good, David? You have a question? You good?
No, so I didn't understand Rashi.
No, Rashi's not. It's not Rashi's fault. He's just explaining. You lit it on Friday. It's the Gemara's fault. The Gemara is the one who introduced this is Motzei Shabbat.
No, but he says
Rashi's saying
He has the lantern for Hanukkah, for Shabbat.
She'edika lemitzvat Hanukkah b'Shabbat. Yeah, this was my Hanukkah candle for Friday. On
No.
Friday, this was my Hanukkah lantern. This lantern I lit on Friday for Hanukkah. For Hanukkah. And I wanted
Why
to,
do you need to light up the lantern for?
because that's what lasts long. I want to light a long candle on Friday to last a long time. This is my Hanukkah candle, and I want to use it again. I want to get 2 for 1. I want to use it the next night also. I think that's just telling you the case. But again, the decision to make this happen on Saturday night is the gemara's decision. So that's my answer. So even if you did it anyway, it's not kosher. So this is a great question, and it would prove to you hanaha is not the answer. We don't care about the placement. So if you have it burning in the window, you don't have to pick it up and put it back down, do all these charades. Light it. Right? Okay. Ve'od. This is the question of Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi David. Ve'od. Midikam mebarchinan. What is the blessing? Asher kidishanu mitzvotav v'sivanu lehadlik. Hey, you got the Gemara's question. That's very good. Lehadlik ner shel Hanukkah. The Gemara says shel, by the way. The Gemara says shel. Good catch. Good catch. You got it right away. Gemara says shel. We don't say shel. But the Gemara, it's Faradim don't do it. It's a grammatical thing.
You like to be different.
The Gemara says, what is the beracha? It's very simple. Is it lehaniach ner Hanukkah? No, it's lehadlik. So the mitzvah is to light it. It's the best proof. Okay. So what do we get? Shema mina. Shinem means what? Boys, David, you know shinem. Shema mina? Shema mina, we see from here. Hadlaka osa mitzvah, that the main mitzvah is the lighting. Shema mina. Whenever you have the double Shema mina, it means checkmate. Shema mina, checkmate, you got me. The lighting is hadlaka osa mitzvah. So therefore, what's the halakha when it comes to ner lened? You're allowed to do it in ner lened because it's not a bizayon, because the lighting is a mitzvah. Now it all makes sense. 360 view. Last week's halakha makes perfect sense. Yeah? And now, if you look back, you don't have to if you don't want to, but on Chaf Bet Amud Bet, the page right before this, the bottom Tosafot, I find it very curious, the bottom Tosafot. David, check the bottom Tosafot. Chaf Bet Amud Bet, the bottom Tosafot. He kind of jumps the gun. It's so out of character for him. We're just getting into a nice argument, and he gives away the answer to Tosafot. I don't know why. And he says, the difference is, the difference, Tosafot says, would be, what if a minor lights the menorah candle?
Where are you looking at?
I'm in the bottom Tosafot, Chaf Bet Amud Bet. Chaf Bet with 2 dots on the top. Yeah? Oh?
Maybe.
Anyway, you don't have to see it because the Gemara is about to say it. I don't know why Tosafot jumps the gun on this and he says this, because literally these are the words of the Gemara. He doesn't usually do that. Tosafot says in the bottom, another halachic difference is, let's say a katan lights it. Let's say a katan decides to light my menorah candles in a proper kosher window. Is it kosher? I have a hanaha. I don't have a hadlaka. Kosher makes a difference. If hadlaka was some mitzvah, if the main mitzvah is lighting it, there was not a proper lighting. Sorry. I don't care if it's in your window. Not kosher. If hanaha was some mitzvah, it would be kosher for katan with the candles. Katan, we will get into the halakha of minors with candles in a minute. Very interesting question. Let's go back to the other side. Chav Gimel. Huh?
You see down?
No.
Musaf Tosafot?
I don't have that in my Gemara. I saw a little.
Okay.
Let's see what he says.
Maxie, let me ask you a question. Just you're lighting the first candle, okay, with your lahadlik nail.
Yeah.
You then pass it to your children to light them.
Excellent question. So does it depend on? So this has a lot to do with this. We're going to read the halakha for that in 2 seconds. Good question. I don't have this. It's funny when I made the copies, I saw that Chav Zayin there. I don't have it in my Gemara. What does he say, David? Is the Musaf Tosafot? What does he say? Chav Zayin. Ada Tawamid Hanahal Mitzvah in Kavida B'Habakata. He doesn't say what. Yeah.
He said, if it's financial Katan,
Yeah, no, I get that part, but here's my question, David. I didn't explain it well. Let's go back to Chav Gimel Amud Aleph. So where are we right now? We just said, what do we mean? We say Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvah tzivanu le'adlik neChanuka Shema Mina Shema Mina Shema Mina halakha mitzvah Shema Mina. Now is my question, David. What is the Gemara about to say? V'hashta de'amrinan hadlaka osa mitzvah. Now that I know, thank you so much. Now that I know hadlaka osa mitzvah, it's the lighting. Hidlika cheresh shoteh v'katan lo asa v'lo klum. There's my question.
Oh, yeah.
Tosafot tells me a big hidush is coming from the Gemara 2 seconds later. If a katan lights the candles, nothing. Gemara says, sorry, it's not a hadlaka. Who else? Let's think about other types of people. Isha. What about a woman? What if a woman lights the candles? Is it kosher?
Yeah.
So, yeah, as we all know. So Isha vadai bandika. I love the word vadai. Isha definitely can light the candles for you. Can? Huh? Oh, great. Let's see the reason why. Let's look. The Amar of Yeshua ben Levi. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi said, Nashim hayabot benet Hanukkah. They have a special obligation for Hanukkah, even though they shouldn't, like the doctor says, time bound. Sha'af hen hayu be'otohanes, because even they were part of the miracle. It's a question.
What part would then?
Good question. Let's see. Let's first see Rashi. Always Rashi first. What's your question? Let's see Rashi. Rashi hayu be'otohanes. You see it? We're on the second line of Rashi. Dad, second line of Rashi. You following? Hayu be'otohanes. They were in the miracle. Shegazru Yavanim al kol bitulot hanisuot li'ba'el letafsar tehila. Rashi gives two reasons. Number one, they were in the danger. Number two, they were in the hatzalah. They were in the danger because they had a rule. Every woman before her wedding night had to go with the general first. And so since they were in the danger, and they were also in the hatzalah because by the means of a woman, we were saved. He doesn't say the story. But there are famous stories in the Midrashim about it. I said a couple of weeks ago in one of the halakha classes, I said, one version is the sister of the Maccabim. On her wedding night, when this general came to take her, she stood on the table and tore her dress open and told the brother, and the brothers, hey, what are you doing? Not siniyut. She said, not siniyut. What about the law that they take all the brides? That's okay? And because of that, she riled them up. That's one version. We have another version, Yehudit, with the cheese. She gave the melech cheese and wine and made him sleepy. And yeah, the Midrash also, the different Midrash who called Yehudit the sister of the Maccabim. It's a question of the names. You know, there's not like a strong misorah on this. There's various Midrashim. It doesn't. No, I don't believe it's in the book of the Maccabee in the Bible. No, a lot of Midrashim.
I have a guess about what Rashi said. I think it means that he did from the lantern of Shamash. So we light it up.
Okay, so let's say the lanterns is Shamash, and therefore.
So
Why is it mufrach to be Shabbat? That's my question. Why do you have to say Shabbat? That was my original question. Right, Shabbat, Motzei Shabbat. I couldn't find any other answer. I'm racking my brains to the one I said. So you got the women. So women really are exempt from time-bound mitzvot, but they're hayevet in what? Hanukkah, because of this reason. Purim, same reason, which we're going to do. By the way, this is the last Hanukkah class. Starting next week, we're going to do Purim until Purim. So also Purim. They were in the miracle, and they were also part of the danger and part of the Hatzalah, Esther, right? And also the 4 cups of wine for Pesach, they also have to. And so a special rule for women. So women, since they're hayavim, they have to hayavot, then they can be motziyu, and their lighting is a kosher lighting. Okay. Good. Excellent. Let's see the Tosafot here. The second Tosafot on Chav Gimel. It's a very short one. Shema mina hadlaka osa mitzvah. I spoke this out orally yesterday. Shema mina hadlaka osa mitzvah. V'im ken, now that we know that the lighting is the mitzvah, mutad la'adlik miner lener, he wraps it up nicely with a bow. You can light a candle to a candle. Umi komakom, however, says Tosafot, Kivan shenagu ha'olam la'ahmid, yes, I love this one, since the world has a custom to be strict, and l'shanot ha'minhag, don't change, don't be strict. I mean, don't be lenient, and don't like miner lener. This is Tosafot.
Here's all the reasons why.
Yeah, and then don't do it. This is Tosafot. So, but Shulchan Aruch rules, like we read last week, you're allowed to light miner lener as the Rambam. Okay? Excellent. Let's do one more piece, and then we're going to do the halakha section. Bottom line halakha, okay? One more piece. Amar Rab Sheshet. Aksenai, a guest at someone's house. You see Rashi? Aksenai means a guest. Haya b'nei Hanukkah. Yeah? It's the word Aramaic for guest. Oh, yeah, there you go. Afsanai Haya B'Nechoka. He has to light, he has an obligation in the candle. That's what Rav Sheshet says. Comes a Bizera. Amar Bizera. Miresh Ki Havina Berav. In the beginning, before I knew this halacha, when I used to go to Rav's house for Hanukkah, Mishtatefna Beperiti Bahadeh Ushpiza. I used to join with money and be a partner with his candles and oils, and so that my partnership also has me covered with the candles. If you go to someone's house and you have no one at home lighting, give the guy a couple of bucks. Say, I want to buy a portion of your oil, and therefore it works as a partnership for both of you.
Today we don't do that.
It's hard to light your own menorah. Good question. It's very deep. Let's just see the end of the Gemara.
Today we don't do that.
Hold on. But Tad din Nasibi, which means what? After I got married, Itita, I married a woman, Amina Hashtavade lo tzarichna. I said to myself, I don't have to pay anybody for partnerships anymore. Because my wife is lighting for me in my house. I'm covered. Like we said, Ned Ishu Beto. It's a mitzvah on the house. As long as someone from the house is lighting, you're kosher. So if the husband's on a business trip somewhere and the wife is home lighting, he doesn't have to do anything. Can he light a menorah without a beracha? Go ahead. Light a menorah without a beracha. But he's covered by his wife. This will be the end of our Hanukkah Gemara. We covered a lot in the past few weeks. And let's do some halakha l'maaseh, yeah? And so what's the bottom line? First Rambam says, Ner Hanukkah she'edliku chedesh u'tevet katan. If a minor lights the Ner Hanukkah, someone who's not bar mitzvah, or akum, or a goy lights your Hanukkah candles, lo asa klum, it's 0. Ad she'edlikenu mishu hayav behadlaka. Someone with the obligation has to do the lighting. Why? Because hadlaka is a mitzvah. If you lit in the inside, by the way, when you learn Rambam, you have to understand the words of the Gemara. If you learn the Gemara first and you read the Rambam, it's delicious because you just read this in the Gemara, the exact words. If you lit from inside the house, the luke, and you brought it out lit, and you put it down on the doorway, it's nothing. You got to light it in the proper kosher place. Yeah. Nowadays, no.
So we can light inside the house, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you light inside the house, and then you take it outside.
Good.
So you are already yotzeh inside the house.
Very good. So did you light it and you lit it in a kosher place in your house? And now within the half hour, take it outside. After the half hour, it will be for sure kosher. Good. So it would seem from the letter of the law that it's allowed, right? Because I did a kosher lighting.
Right.
I'm going to read you halakha al-ma'aseh that some people say it's better not to do this. But the ikan halakha, it would seem it's fine. We'll read this in 1 second. Rambam continues. Ahaz haner biyado ve'amad. I stand holding my candle the whole time. Lo asa klum. You did nothing. Sheharo'eh omed. The person seeing you will say, letzorcho omed. More Rambam David. Ashashit. She'ayita doleket. A lantern that's lighting. Kol hayam kulo, the whole day. Lemotzei Shabbat, Rambam says, Saturday night. Let's see what he says. Mechaba o mebarech o madlika. No, you don't have to place it. Leave it. You don't have to pick it up.
The Ramban says. So.
Extinguish it, relight it. You don't have to touch it. Extinguish it, relight it. Shehadlaka hiya mitzvah ve'lo hanaha. Now, if you read this Rambam before the Gemara, you know what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about. Hadlaka osa mitzvah and not the hanaha. Mutar lehavlik ner Hanukkah min Hanukkah. And you're allowed to light from one candle to another. It all wraps up nicely. This is Rambam. Let's move to Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch.
There's no placement. We don't have placement.
We don't hold the placement. You have to light it in a kosher place. If you lit it in a not kosher place, it's not considered a lighting. You have to light it in a kosher. Now these days, everything's a kosher place. These days, except for what? Can you think of one that's not? Huh? The bathroom's a good idea. Could you think of a more halachic? Where?
If there's no window, the closet.
No, that's kosher these days. We like to the inside. He should know it. I'm going to read it to you in a minute, but try to guess it first. Let's read Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch says, Hadlaka osa mitzvah. Bam, straight out, Shulchan Aruch. The lighting is the mitzvah. I can't stress this enough. I'm sorry, it sounds like a broken recorder. You have to learn Gemara, because if you just say, oh, I'm going to Shulchan Aruch, Hadlaka osa mitzvah. Oh, okay. You have no idea how much work we got to get these 3 words. Hadlaka osa mitzvah, but Shulchan Aruch on the silver platter. The lighting is the mitzvah. Therefore, in kaveta, now we're going back 3 weeks. Kaveta zakukla or kaveta in zakukla. If it blew out, do you have to relight it or not? This is the first class we did. If your candles blew out, you have to relight them? Well, now that we say hadlaka or mitzvah, I did a hadlaka. What do I care about the hanaha? It all ties in together. So the Maran does this. The fichach in kaveta kodem shiava zeman. If it blew out, eno zakukla. Rambam goes around in a circle. And he says that reason is because of this reason. Amazing. Gemara doesn't do this, right? Even if it blew out on Erev Shabbat before Shabbat, early, in the daytime, you don't have to relight it. It's good to. You don't have to, because what do we care about? The action was a kosher action. Finished.
As long as you lit it at the right time, the right
shi'ud. Let's see.
What? Shi'ud?
Hold on. More Shulchan Aruch for you. Next to Shulchan Aruch. This is 675. Halakha osa mitzvah v'lo hanaha. Again, the halakha is the mitzvah, not the placement. Shim hayitamu nahat bimkoma. If it was in its place. Shelo l'shem mitzvah chanuka. Not for the candle mitzvah, like a lantern. If it was just sitting on the windowsill, like a lantern. Madlika sham. You can light it. Ve'eno sarich lehasira o lahaniha l'shem mitzvah chanuka. You don't have to pick it up and put it down. I have a tea light on my window, so light the tea light. You don't have to pick it up. Oh, l'shem Hanukkah. No, just light it. Lefichach, another lefichach. Therefore, ashashit, a lantern. Shayta doleket kol hayom. She'elika me'erev Shabbat, the mitzvah Hanukkah. I lit it on Friday for the Hanukkah. The motzei Shabbat, Saturday night, michaba, you have to extinguish it. Umadlika l'shem mitzvah, and just light it again, but you don't have to pick it up. We're good? Yeah. Yeah?
If the light is the main mitzvah, then Friday night you're toast, because you know the time and you're
good. So Friday night we add a ton of shi'ur. We add so much oil. Let's put extra.
But the action happens.
But I'm doing an action of kosher because I'm putting so much oil that it's enough. My action is enough to make it light throughout the proper zman.
Yeah.
Understand? It's because of the shi'ur. We're going to get into this in 1 second also. What if you didn't put a shi'ur? It's not a question. Should I give it to you now? Or I'll preview it now. Because you're touching on this. If I want to light a Hanukkah candle, I don't have a lot of oil. I'm out of the oil. But I'm a stickler for the halakha. And I need to light a 516 exactly. I don't want to be late. And so I'm going to light with a tiny bit of oil. It'll enough to last 5 minutes. And then when they come, they'll bring me more. I'll pour it in. Kosher or not kosher? Hadlaka osa mitzvah or hanaha osa mitzvah? If hanaha osa mitzvah, at the end, I'll fill it as I go. I'll catch it up. If hanaha osa mitzvah, if all I care about is a placement in the window, then make sure the placement in the window happens by hook or by crook. But if hadlaka osa mitzvah, did you do a kosher lighting? No. Your lighting was not a kosher lighting. It wasn't enough to last. I'm telling you, there's literally could be a dozen halakhic expressions that come, maybe more. We're not going to do all of them now. But there's another one. Hold on, let me finish Shulchan Aruch. I said that because I was touching on what you were saying. It goes by the shi'ud you put in there. If you put a shi'ud in there, that my action is a good action to work in a normal world, you're kosher. Because hadlaka or something. Make sense? Okay. Let's see. More Shulchan Aruch. He says over here, I'll skip this because I want to get to other things. Mishnah Berurah says something interesting. He's the Hafet Haim, Mishnah Berurah, it's Ashkenaz. He says, Yizaher should be careful. Shelo letaltel hanot Hanukkah mimkoman. Don't move the menorah from its place. Ad sheyushlam hashi'ur shel hadlaka hatisha. Until the half hour. Who asked this? Someone asked this. Doctor? Mishnah Berurah says, don't move your menorah until the half hour shi'ud is up. That's what he says. You should be careful. But it's not halakha. It's not a strong halakha. You should be careful. Okay, I want to skip ahead. Let's do one more. I didn't say can't. He says you shouldn't. He's ahead. Try not to.
Better not.
Yeah.
Better not.
Let's do another one. Katan, a minor. Shelo shehigia lechinuch, that is of chinuch age. It's a big question what chinuch age is. I don't have an answer for you. 9, 10, 6, 7. Zillion and one opinions what chinuch age. Sarich lehadik, he needs to be trained to light candles. Interesting. But you just told me a katan can't light candles. Okay, keep that in your head. That's the end of Shulchan Aruch. And now we're going to move on to.
Sorry, Max, I missed it. It's very important.
It's a sneak. Can a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old light my candles for me? Right. So according to the Gemara, so what do we know as of now? The Gemara said a katan cannot, right? Because hadlaka osam mitzvah. It has to be a proper lighting. And it wasn't a proper lighting. Oh, I'm on 1%. I'm going to end the stream now before it does.